Alright. A.N.THROPOS here, and welcome to another relaxing episode of You Don't Know. You don't know, huh? So don't act like you do. Because then something inappropriate might happen to you. Oh! Yeah. Alright, man. We got some very important breaking news here for you, despite these serene settings. Coming to you live from Austin, Texas right now in my luxury townhome over here on the north side. What we have is some breaking news about James Casbolt. James Casbolt, the man of the hour, the man who's going to be released on July 23rd. He's scheduled to be released from a prison in England. Most of you know who James Casbolt is, and he needs no introduction. These little videos I'm doing are just giving some background information, but also so letting Casbolt newbies get filled in on, the background information, and also hopefully bringing some new information to those of you who have been in the truther community for a while and you know who this guy is. And he's not somebody I know. It's just through a strange set of coincidences or whatever that I started releasing some letters that he was sending from prison to various people, and I published the first one at the behest of the person who it was sent to, who wanted to remain anonymous. And after that, other people that were corresponding with James just started giving me the letters to release or whatever. So it was kind of weird how all that went down. In our last fast blast, I guess you'd say, little program, little 15-minute program about James Casbolt. Ooh, it's hot in here. I'll let y'all in on some background information. Okay, I'm gonna open this window because it's kind of hot in here. There's no nudity or anything like that. Oh. Okay, so I just cooled myself off in that hot water. So anyway, I was giving you a cast of characters last time, telling you a little bit about James Casbolt, his claim to have been in the different various programs, even starting as a young child. These are programs that are like these MK Ultra based or styled programs where they're for indoctrinating people, children, whoever is in these programs, sometimes through drugs, sometimes through weird sounds, different things like this, but oftentimes those things in combination with torture. Trauma-based mind control is what they call it. And so now we see kind of a connection with Guantanamo. A lot of these, the 911 attackers or whatever, some terrorists in ISIS had done some time at Guantanamo, and now they're out there fighting against us, and they had the waterboarding while they were there. So, read between the lines, they were tortured and their personalities were fractured and compartmentalized. This is an actual science. This is not science fiction. And then they were able to be turned into different operatives that could do things, and in some cases these people do things and then their memories are erased, or it's compartmentalized where their main front alter, what they call an alter, which stands for alter personality, is not aware of what they've done. And so, James Casbolt claims to have been under, some types of programs like this. And of course his running buddy Max Spears. And Max Spears was assassinated almost 3 years ago in July of 2016. So both these young men were luminaries in the truther movement, and now only one is, and that's James Casbolt, but he's in prison because he had a falling out with his ex-wife. What's wrong, buddy? What's wrong, huh? Is somebody here? Oh, you've been so good. Oh, you're such a little creature. We're trying to do talking about James Casbolt, okay? So don't do bothering. Okay, so anyway, that's gone through there. So I introduced you to a partial cast of characters last time. We had James Casbolt, of course, in prison, who had sent a letter that he had received from MI5 to Miles Johnston. Miles Johnston, the proprietor of the Basis Project, a well-known luminary in the truther movement for years now. I was given the tip on this by Christine Joanna Hart, a beautiful lady with a radio show, and I've been on her show with John Irwin. Well, John Irwin is another person that plays into this. John Irwin is the author of the book, The 16 One Step Beyond, The Secrets Were in Jaraba. And although he claims to not be a super soldier and not be under any type of mind control, in his book he details an indoctrination program that he was put through after World War II, probably during the Korean War, I'm not sure exactly when. I've read the book. And this is the most bizarre type of martial arts style you ever heard of. It involves hypnosis and psychological tactics against the enemy, and also they've somehow imbued these people, very few of them, I guess only 16 maybe in the whole world, with superhuman strength and superhuman speed. And this guy's not making this shit up, okay? They did just some wild, missions, assassinations and stuff like that. There's something to this, okay? So that was the limited cast of characters. And then of course we had Max Spears' girlfriend at the time, Sarah Adams, okay, which I'm not going to say very much about her. And then also James Casbolt, who had married one of the most beautiful women in the world, and this is Haley Meyer. Okay, well, all these talk of the Illuminati and the elite and all this stuff, with a lot of people, it goes in one ear and out the other. Well, one thing that gives credence, in this case, to James Casbolt's story, is that he actually married Haley Meyer, who is the daughter of one of the richest men in North America, if not the world, the billionaire Hank Meyer. That is her father, and she married James Casbolt after he had become famous for going around saying that he was a mind-controlled super soldier and all these weird programs going off in outer space and shooting laser guns and all this stuff. So it's very, very odd, and regardless of the amount of truth to what James says, including assassinations, and I don't doubt that this young man is a killer. I don't know, I just don't. But, and I'm not saying that I believe the rest of his story, but at the very least he has been under some indoctrination, and many of these things he's saying he may believe to be true, or they may be true, and he's put under some type of hypnosis or had memories implanted within him. That is another aspect of this MK Ultra type of program. So instead of a little love triangle, you have a love quadrangle. I'm not really saying that for real, but there's two couples, Max Spears and Sarah Adams, who I think were already in the United States, even though Max was from England, and Haley Meyer and James Casbolt. Haley Meyer from the United States, James Casbolt from the United Kingdom, and James Casbolt came to the United States and joined the United States military, the Army, I believe, just days before his 35th birthday. So that's very odd, and obviously the reason he did that is because they will only accept new recruits into the Army up until the age of 35. Well, he had some, I'm not going to say preferential treatment there, but he was in some type of programs, obviously, in San Antonio. There's several military bases in San Antonio. And according to him, at one point he got into a vehicle, into an SUV with Max Spears. They were being driven around by their handlers, and for whatever reason, Max Spears shot him point blank. I don't know if he shot him in the body or if they struggled for the gun or whatever, but he shot James Casbolt, and James Casbolt did not die. And this is what he says. But now we can't ask Max his side of that story because Max is dead. Okay? Is everything okay? You keeping a lookout, Gunter? Oh, you're such a good boy. Oh, you're such a yip-to-joy. Oh, you love your daddy so much. Woo! You're such a creature. You don't want to get in the hot bath, do you? Oh, no. You little stinker. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now we're going to introduce, that's the reason for tonight's video podcast, is I'm going to introduce to you another person who is a part of this story. And this story is true, this story is real, not to be confused with James Casbolt's narrative. Not that that's not real. I'm not passing judgment on that. I'm just saying we kind of have to treat these things as two separate stories. There's what is objectively true, and then there's the claims of someone who's definitely some true stuff is happening to him, but he has some very fancy, somebody would say fanciful tales of, you know, maybe even going off into outer space and stuff like this. So this is the person that I'm introducing you to right now. Carmen Joy Welter. Okay, Carmen Joy Welter is a friend of mine on Facebook. She is also, I do not want to misstate this, and I'm going to read a statement from Carmen here in just a moment. But I do not have this exact information, and I have not asked her because it's not my place to do this, but I mean, it's common knowledge that before he was locked up, she was with James Casbolt. A girlfriend, a fiance, a lover, I'm not sure what the official, you know, title may have been, and I don't know what their relationship status is right now. But I can, let's just say or assume at the very least that they are at least good friends. They're good friends. And Carmen Joy Welter is an amazingly beautiful woman. You start to see a pattern here. Who has a couple of kids, and she lives east of here. Actually, I don't know. I knew what state. I don't know exactly what state. A man you've seen on my show being my co-host before, Bobby Bang Bang, another person who has for sure been through the programs. He was tasked at one point after James got locked up with looking after Carmen, her well-being. And what I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming, you know, some type of function or whatever as just a protector or a guardian. And this was requested by James Casbolt, and then subsequently we both found out later that James Casbolt does not like Bobby Bang Bang. Okay, well, regardless of that, he asked or instructed somebody to ask Bobby to look after Carmen Joy Welter. Bobby was on the show just the other night, and as far as I know, he may still be doing that to this day. You know, I'm kind of spotty on some of this information, but these are people that I do know. Okay, I do not know James Casbolt. I do not know Max Spears, or did not know Max Spears. I don't know Sarah Adams. And I'm glad, because she hates me. You know, I'm not even going to talk about that, okay? She found out who I was. And anyway, and then of course, Haley Meyer. She doesn't know me from shit from Shinola. So anyway, but I do know Carmen Joy Welter, and she is the one-time or maybe current love interest of James Casbolt. And so she's kind of a shy lady. She's, like I said, she's amazingly beautiful. She's also an artist. She's also a extremely gifted musician. And I may put some links up to some of her music. I would not do that without her permission, so we'll just see. I do have a couple of pictures, actually only 2 pictures that I am going to show you that are her property that she has licensed me or whatever to publish on this podcast. One thing that's rumored, and I cannot corroborate this, and she, of course, did not tell me this. I'm not going to tell you who told me this, but more than one person told me this, but I'm not saying that this is true. This is an uncorroborated rumor, and this is the idea or the story, rumor, whatever you want to call it, that S.A., Sarah Adams, okay, I'm just going to call her S.A., told a lie and tried to bring some false charges against Carmen in an attempt to have her children removed by CPS, Children Protective Services. That's what we call it here in Texas. I don't know what they call it over there. But if that is true, that is just reprehensible and can go out on another line of her reprehensible actions list, which I'm not going to get into or go over. This show is not about her, okay? The only reason she's being mentioned is because she put herself in the public spotlight. She was in these programs. We know this now. She is a black musician. We know this now. She would probably like to fry whatever, balls or something, but I have protection. I have psychics, and I am, as some of y'all know, I am in a secret society, and so I have things put in order to protect myself. But on top of that, I've gotten information that SA, with her black magic, cannot harm you unless she's relatively close, geographically speaking. You know, so I'm in Texas, she's in California, she can't fuck with me, all right? You know, she threatened to send some lawyers down here or something like that. Bring it on, baby, I don't care. So anyway, enough of that. Back to Carmen Joy Welter. And really this, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to release that she has prepared a statement for me to release to you. And so I'm going to speak it to you right now. Well, I'll tell you, it's hot in here. I'm going to have to cool down here in a second. I'm going to have to get out of here and cool down. I don't want y'all to do any peeking, all right? Don't do that. No peeping Tom stuff. Okay, back to seriousness. This is a message from Carmen Joy Welter for me to deliver for her to the world, to anyone who's interested in this story about James Casbolt. And here it goes. These are in her words. And this was written today and delivered to me today in light of these things. My hope for James is that he is able to transition back into society in a peaceful manner. The last 5 years have been challenging, to say the least. James has been through an extremely difficult ordeal. He has a long road ahead. He needs people around him who have his best interest at heart. I support him in his transition back into society. James has atoned for his criminal behavior. He has done his time with humility and dignity and should be left alone with his friends and family to heal his life and prepare for the next phase. I want to say thank you to friends who have stood by us and who have been supportive through the last 5 years. It really means a lot. Thank you. And then I replied with, okay, Carmen, well said. I will publish that today, verbatim. Thank you. Okay. And then she sent me a couple of pictures to show y'all, and I'm going to show those to y'all. Man, right now I'm burning up. It's a hot day in Austin, Texas. The heat that Austin's known for, it really came on today, but it's nice and chill here in my luxury townhome. But yeah, you know, I'm running this hot bath and everything like that, trying to get sexy for y'all. No, just kidding. So, right. It's kind of hot in here. Okay, so we're going to cut it off right there. That's this fast blast. And thank you for joining me. Stay safe, be cool. Huh? That's it. Don't act like you do. Because then something inappropriate might happen to you. And I'm talking to you. Oh.